Paul McMahon is Global Director of Technology and Innovation at Coates, a company that was established in 1755 and by 1890 was the world's most second valuable company. He will be presenting with Tim Dempsey, who helped him create a world-class technology capability as his delivery director. Most likely, Coates creates the threads in the clothes you are wearing. They also create materials that protect firefighters, enable peak athlete performance in gears such as made by Adidas, and the fibers in fiber optic cables. They will describe the importance and lessons learned in their digital transformation and how they are supporting the CEO's effort to move the company into the digital age. This journey has taken them deep into the company's most critical capabilities and creating entirely new ones to better serve their staff and their customers. Please welcome Paul and Tim.
Hello, my name is Paul McMahon. I'm the Director for Technology and Innovation at Coates. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about our journey from the industrial age through to the digital age. But before we get there, a little bit about our backgrounds. I have been responsible for many digital transformation programs over the years. I've worked across multiple sectors, including telco, public sector, manufacturing, and energy. A lot of those experiences have generated patterns and rhythms, which we see again at Coates. And I'm here hopefully today to convey a few of those to you. But before we get into that, Tim, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Tim Dempsey. Worked previously with Paul at Vodafone before we joined forces again at Coates. My last transformational work was moving the Ministry of Justice to 9 teams there, in fact, that from a environment where they're only able to deploy software every 6 weeks, introduced DevOps tools and practices there that enabled them to actually deploy 6 times a day, which is a great story, but one for another day.
So as you know, in our world of DevOps and software delivery, one of the key things we look to do is to remove assumptions. So let's remove the assumption of who Coates is. Next slide. Coates is one of the world's oldest organizations. As Gene said, it was born in the late 1700s, and since then it has grown to operate in over 50 countries and has around 17,000 staff globally. Coates makes a number of different products, including the Eco Verde set of threads. Those threads are in most of the products that you will be wearing, from a shirt or the logo design on my polo shirt through to other uses such as automotive, in cars with alloy wheels, and also into the energy sector and telco, again, as Gene said. One interesting fact about Coates, Thomas Edison, when he invented the light bulb, used one of the Coates threads in that process. So we've got a very long heritage of pioneering and innovation, which are 2 of our brand archetypes. And hopefully when we walk through some of our experiences, you'll see some of that coming through. Next slide, please. I mentioned that I had run a number of presentations and transformations across different sectors in large organizations, and there is a sense of common challenges, which I'm sure resonate with a lot of you listening today. Those common challenges have been brilliantly broken down and described in great talks over the years at the DevOps Summit. I have joined in the audience looking at people like John Smart and Mark Schwartz talking about how to create anti-patterns around these challenges and make a real breakthrough to drive that transformation. Within Coates, we've seen a number of areas that have caused us to focus in on one good thing and try and do that well, around paying down tech debt and delivering software of good quality at pace. To talk a little bit more about the mission that we took on at Coates and how we drove transformation, I'm going to hand back to Tim, who's going to take us through an application that we built for our e-commerce world. E-commerce in Coates is where our customers place their orders for products. We have around 40,000 customers, and the system itself takes around $1 billion a year in revenue. So Tim, take us through what our mission was when we joined forces again at Coates.
Yeah, let's move on to the next slide. So, given the job as a program manager, I've got the business asking me for a new version of e-commerce because it takes 4 to 6 months for any new features to be put on there. But as Paul's just outlined, it's kind of the lifeblood of the revenue of Coates. So if we want to do anything new for a customer, you'd be wanting to do that in a matter of weeks, not in months. So rather than just replace that software with something else, the business is seeing this as a technical problem. What me and Paul know from having done this a few times in some other places is actually it's not the technology that needs to change. It's actually the way of going about doing IT, if you like. So rather than sit down and write loads of new code, throw it out there, let the business use it, we knew that we had to actually change the way we were going about the way that we worked. That not just the e-commerce system I was being asked for, we're also being asked for a new color manufacturing system, 5 different applications as well that were being demanded of us as an IT team from across the business. There's always something new as, in terms of requests. So just like we do when we're running a software sprint, you can only do so much at any one time. If you try and do too much, you're going to fail. So if you try and deliver on all these fronts all at once, you're going to do a bad job of all of them. So I was very strict and said, we're only going to do 2 things. We're going to do a bit of e-commerce work, but we're also going to try and introduce the tools, ways of working, and methods that allow us to then accelerate what we're doing as in the future. So it's also like we're going to go slow so we can go faster later. So I'll hand back to you, Paul, at that point.
Next slide, please. So as Tim has just described, we focused in on starting our work with an e-commerce platform and solution. However, the capabilities we had internally to deliver that platform had previously relied on external software developers. So one of the first things we needed